A female fur seal nudges the birth membrane apart. And her pup opens its eyes for the very first time. On New Zealand's wild west coast. Over the next month, up to 1,000 pups will be born into this New Zealand fur seal rookery. From the moment of birth, fur seal mothers lovingly nurture their pups. But they won't all survive their first months. Life for an infant seal is filled with threats. From the ocean, and from the bull seals in its own colony. They must learn early to fend for themselves. For those that make it, this is an exceptional place. Their home is known as the Open Bay Islands, or Motu Taumaka by the traditional Maori owners. They are remnants of an ancient land. The foundation is limestone, thrust up by tectonic forces, eroded by relentless wind and rain. Once connected to the mainland, constant geological changes meant that over millions of years, these two small islands became isolated outposts, cut adrift from New Zealand's South Island. A mere 5 kilometers from the mainland, it may as well be 5,000. So remote and rough are these waters. But there's plentiful food in these waters, which attracts more marine wildlife than any other habitat on the west coast. There can be up to 4,000 New Zealand fur seals, 300 Fiordland crested penguins, gulls and terns, which visit regularly from the mainland, and even the occasional little blue penguin, all sharing these two rocky islands, an area of less than 30 hectares. Below the ocean surface, rocks are festooned with kelp and carpeted with soft algae. Food for this marblefish family, which blend into their habitat to avoid being eaten by other residents. The Southern Ocean carries cold, nutrient-rich water here, where the continental shelf runs close to shore. As a result, an explosion of life is concentrated in relatively shallow water. A feature that's drawn fur seals to these islands for thousands of years. A crayfish forages the undersea meadow, watched by the resident octopus. But the eight-legged hunter has its own predator to avoid. When the foraging cray falls into dangerous territory, the octopus can't believe its luck. The crayfish has tough armor, but as the octopus envelops its prey, it injects a toxin through its bite that turns seafood flesh into soup. Any bits that can't be digested are ejected. This octopus senses when to hunt and when to hide. But another makes a fatal mistake. The Open Bay Islands underwater neighborhood is both playground and 24-hour buffet for these fur seals. To fuel their dynamic acrobatics, they must hunt fish continuously from dusk to dawn. But fur seals are not the top of the food chain here. 7-gill sharks are mostly after fish. But great white sharks prefer fatty seal blubber. For Open Bay Island fur seals, the ocean is as dangerous as it is bountiful. It's a summer morning on the larger island of Taumaka. And this young female is just beginning her labor. It should take her just a couple of hours of contractions to give birth. Unlike land mammals, seals have a more flexible pelvis, which means pups should slip out easily. Most of her colony sisters have already given birth to their pups and are nurturing them with protein-rich milk. The summer schedule here starts with hundreds of males like this huge bull, hauling ashore, ready to fight for 100 square meters he hopes will attract up to 8 females. At 12 years old, he's been attracting females to his harem for 3 to 4 seasons already. When the females come ashore, their priority is to seek the best place to birth and raise this year's pup. That means easy access to the ocean when they need to hunt, crevices and overhangs for protection and shade, as they can overheat in their thick fur coats, and proximity to the shallow, enclosed nursery pool, where, over time, their pups will learn to swim. Females will stay on Taumaka for around 10 months before weaning their pups. In contrast, the males will be here for just 10 weeks, with just one goal. A male's need to mate means he won't eat or drink the whole 10 weeks. The bulls perform rituals like this neck display to establish dominance and territory. Because only bulls commanding the best real estate will attract the females. The advantage of ritual posturing means males can avoid having to fight, which saves valuable energy. Although brawls do break out when a competing male oversteps the line. Females can weigh 40 to 50 kilograms when fully grown. But males weigh up to 200 kilograms. The bigger the neck, the bigger the bull, and the more females he gets to mate with. In stark contrast to the drama on the foreshore, just inland, the juvenile males gather. At age 5, they're sexually mature, but they're barred from the breeding grounds by the dominant bulls who won't share females. It'll be a few more years till they are big and strong enough to challenge the older bulls and start their own harem. Until then, all they can do is practice postures that threaten aggression. They share this place with the weka, or bush hen, a bird that was introduced to the islands as a food source for sealers. The species can neither fly nor swim, and so has been marooned here for a century. Weka are opportunistic and feed on leftovers from the other locals. Shellfish, insects, slugs, anything at all. Early summer is when the Fiordland-crested penguins on the Open Bay Islands molt. Penguins are one of the few bird species that lose all their feathers during this process. It takes 2 to 3 weeks to grow new, clean feathers that will keep them waterproof in these cool waters. During the molt, they can't enter the water at all, which means they aren't able to eat. Back on the beach, the young female fur seal is still having contractions. It's likely she's a first-time mother. And with the weather closing in, the odds of her survival are diminishing by the minute. On Taumaka, the larger of the 2 Open Bay Islands, the summer day turns grim as rain squalls move in. It's been over 6 hours now since this female began contractions. An unusually long labor for a New Zealand fur seal. It's possible she's trying to give birth to twins, although fur seals tend to bear just one pup at a time. The disc indicates she was tagged as a pup by a scientist as part of a long-term population count. If she can't deliver, her life will be in danger, and the pup will die. Nearby are other newborns. This one with the placental afterbirth still attached. A bonanza for the opportunistic weka. Many mammals often eat the placenta. It's a rich food source for a new mother. But the weka is quick to stake its claim. There's a hierarchy here in the birthing grounds. The local gulls bully the weka, who knows her place in the pecking order. But The minute the gull's back is turned, she scores her most nutritious meal all year. At this time of year, everyone on Taumaka has hungry mouths to feed. For the first week of a seal pup's life, it feeds around the clock, gaining weight rapidly, which means the female's fat reserves diminish just as fast. This pup is 1 week old already and becoming cautiously independent, which means his mother can make her first trip out to sea to replenish her milk supply. She'll need to repeat this demanding journey once or twice a week over the 10 months that she'll nurse, and consume several kilograms of protein on each trip. In her search for squid and octopus, she passes by the power precinct. These ancestral mollusks are among the most primitive of ocean creatures, with a massive foot that grips the rocks, able to withstand the constant, powerful surge. Its rasping tongue protrudes from its mouth to scrape algae from the rocks. Its tentacles detect approaching danger. It's the starfish that is the power's ruthless enemy. If the starfish can grab on with its tube feet, it can break the power's hold on the rock. The starfish will try to slip its stomach under the shell to start dissolving power flesh. But the power has a defensive strategy. When under threat, it twists and secretes a slippery mucus which breaks the starfish's strong hold. Then comes a rapid crawl. For an animal in the slug family, it can move surprisingly quickly. In fact, the only thing it can't shake off is another power. Female seals, superbly equipped to hunt in these waters, are now almost ready to return to their pups. They're called fur seals because 2 layers of fur keep them warm in water that pulls heat from their bodies 20 times faster than air. They fly through the water powered by front flippers and thick muscles, while loose-moving vertebrae and rear flippers enable them to perform fluid acrobatics. Large eyes help seals see well in low light, and long whiskers feel for fish prey at night. As she dives, the seal's nostrils automatically close and the dive reflex kicks in. Her heart rate slows by around 90% and blood circulation almost stops. But seals store oxygen in their muscles. Of all 11 fur seal species around the world, New Zealand fur seals dive the deepest, up to 230 meters, and the longest, often over 10 minutes. They are among the most masterful divers on the planet. As each female returns from hunting, she finds her pup by listening for its call. All pups' lives depend on how efficiently their mother can catch fish and return home. If she's detained beyond several days, this pup will starve. More than a third of newborns do. It's late afternoon, and while other mothers suckle their satisfied pups, this female is still in distress. A closer look reveals the problem. Her pup has breech, and coming out flippers first. The little flippers move, but seem unable to advance. One gull watches like a vulture. It's been at least 10 hours of labor so far, an enormous stress on both mother and pup. The one visitor is a lusty male. But he soon realizes that she's unable to mate. The rain grows heavier. Dusk approaches. At last, more of the pup seems to be emerging. But then, the flippers go still. Weather on the Open Bay Islands worsens as dusk approaches. The stressed female is suddenly agitated. It seems like there's progress at long last. After 11 hours of labor, it's a female. The pup calls and her mother mouths her. This crucial contact is establishing their connection, which will last for up to a year. The gulls stand by as the female coaxes her new pup to feed. They know the drill and grab their chance as the new mother and pup bond. In the fur seal colony, warm summer days pass, and the newborn pup nurses every couple of hours. This female may be new to mothering, but she knows not to let her pup stray in her first vulnerable week. There are dangers here, even in the safe haven of Taumaka. Seals are born for the water, but it takes time to learn how to swim. If a pup strays near the surging ocean, at just 1 week old, it could drown. The other threat comes from within the colony. The new mother is one of around 8 females in this dominant male's harem. She's the last to deliver a pup. One week after giving birth, it's time for her to mate again. The timing is crucial for next year's birth season, but not so great with young pups around. She must keep hers clear of the distracted bull. Or the pup could be accidentally trampled and suffocate. After she mates, something remarkable happens. When her egg is fertilized, it enters a state of suspension for 3 months. After that, the embryo starts to grow, which means seals can time the birth of their pups to the most favorable season, summer. On the 8th day of this new pup's life, her mother prepares to leave her for the first time. Feeding the pup has exhausted her energy reserves, and now she needs to feed herself. The main exit to the ocean all the Open Bay Islanders use is this surge channel. It's a wild ride. But deposits her right where she needs to be, in deep water. Most of the pups know to avoid this channel until they've learned to swim in the safety of the nursery pool. When the female enters her territory, the pressure is on for her to hunt, eat, and return before anything happens to her pup or to her. The fur seal's main predator is especially active around the Open Bay Islands at this time of year, as seals are their favorite food. The pup is left desolate. She must remain at the birth site and not wander off until her mother returns to this exact spot. As night falls, squid and other fur seal favorites rise through the water column. The female fur seal will cover many kilometers and use all her diving prowess to consume several kilograms of food as she forages in the Tasman Sea. The local Open Bay Islands octopus is also on the hunt. He's after an easy meal tonight. His specialized skin cells change color, camouflaging him as he tracks his prey. Craypots are a common sight down here, and the highly intelligent octopus knows it. Unlike other invertebrates, the octopus has short and long-term memories stored in separate parts of its brain, just like humans. It can solve complex problems, so finding a way into this cage should be a walk in the park. It's likely this is a scenario he's played out many times before. His next trick is to encircle the crayfish. Crayfish are covered with sharp, thorny spikes, but this meal is worth a few scrapes. The assassin's sharp beak bores through the crayfish's tough shell, injecting its toxic saliva. And he feasts once again. Early the next day, there's no sign of the fur seal mother who went to sea to feed. Dawn reveals her pup weathered a first night alone by staying put, like she was supposed to. But as the day heats up, her caution is overtaken by curiosity. Her attention is attracted by other pups down in the nursery pool. They're mostly several weeks older than she is, but the late-born pup is drawn to join them. With their mothers absent from such an early age, the more confident a fur seal pup, the more likely it is to survive. She has no idea what to expect. At 9 days old, she's right on track to give swimming a try. But first, she checks out this new world. Seals see better underwater than on land. It's thought they can see colors, although not proven. This is just a first taste of the underwater world she will experience for the rest of her life. Seal pups swim instinctively once they're brave enough to try. She makes a thorough survey of the nursery pool. She'll spend many hours here over the next few months, socializing with her colony cousins. Fur seal pups form loosely knit pods of usually 4 to 5 others, which come together whenever their mothers are out at sea hunting. The young pups play boisterously, constantly in motion. Everything they do is rehearsal for adult life. Opportunistically, they pick up skills along the way, like how to chase a fish. Once she's weaned by 10 months old, she should be capable of catching it. But for now, her hunger pangs are growing, and there's no way to know when her mother will return. The next few days will be the longest of this pup's short life. The open bay islands off New Zealand's wild west coast sparkle on this summer afternoon. It's an idyllic day for most of the pups socializing in the nursery pool. But this young pup is weak now and starting to lose body weight, as her mother has not yet returned from her feeding trip at sea. She lingers at the edge of the nursery pool as she waits for her mother. As she swims close to the rock gap, a rogue wave hits and sucks her out to the other side. The open ocean is no place for a 10-day-old pup. She's drifting away from the pool entrance. When a familiar figure shoots in from the deep. A moment of recognition, and the pup can now follow her mother back to safety. As summer yields to autumn, the crested penguins have finished their molt and grown back waterproof feathers. And weka still steal any food they can. The bull seals return to sea for months of feeding. And now it's just females and pups, bonding in peace. At 3 months old, our pup is growing and becoming used to her mother's absences. The female is now fully pregnant, with her embryo developing after its 3-month delay. And she needs lots of food to prepare for this birth next year. The surge channel has been violent enough to keep the pup from following her mother to sea. But today, she's ready to give it a try. This is a huge milestone. Over the coming months, she'll begin to explore her big blue backyard. Meet all the locals. And eventually extend out her hunting grounds for thousands of kilometers. It will be a year or more before she's ready to dive the deeper ocean, and several more before she herself will mate and give birth. But for the rest of her life, the Open Bay Islands will be her home.